Hello, everyone. This is the first time I've ever been live on YouTube. I decided to go live because I've been going live on Facebook. Oh, my makeup. Yeah, my makeup. Oh, dear Lord. Makeup. It's a little smudgy. But I wanted to get on here and I wanted to talk a little bit about the widow life. I didn't choose the widow life. The widowed life chose me. Who'd have thunk it? I'm 42 years old. My husband was 42. He died 9 months and 26 days ago? 23 days? No, 23 days ago. Yeah, 23 days ago. His name was Jason. You always have to remember, say their name. They mattered. They mattered. You matter. You're their widow. You're their widower, if it's your spouse, your wife. They mattered. Their life mattered. Your life matters. I'm not going to say that my journey has been easy, because it really hasn't. I have been through a lot. A whole lot. I've done things, what I call widow brain. I have. Just the other day, I was like, oh, I have a headache. I get migraines all the time, by the by. So I took a migraine medication. And I said, oh, I'll just add some Benadryl to it. I'll just take a couple. Subconsciously, I just poured a whole handful and took them. And then for some reason, I was like, yeah, I need these other pills too. And I need these other pills. I didn't even think. And it caused me to hallucinate. And at one point, I really do believe I stopped breathing. It was only by the grace of God that I'm alive. Because it's hard. It's hard to think that the love of your life is now 6 feet under. Or like mine. Around my neck. Ashes. In an urn that says together forever. It's hard. And nobody understands it. No, they don't. Not unless they're a widow themselves or a widower. Then they get the pain. They understand. They understand the sleepless nights. They understand the longing. They understand that you question every moment leading up to that person's death. They get it. They more than get it. They can empathize. They can sympathize. They understand. They're going to be the ones that are not going to downgrade or try to minimize. That's the word, minimize. Your relationship that you had with your spouse. Don't let anybody say, oh, you only had so many months with him or her. You were only married for so many years. What do you know? Why are you grieving so hard? Don't let anybody say that to you. Just don't. It's going to break you down. Your relationship with your spouse was important. was very important. And I don't care. I don't care if you were married for 3 hours. You were married. That person chose to marry you. Said before God and everybody, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. With you. They didn't know that the rest of their lives was however many days, hours, months, weeks, years, whatever. So to me, it doesn't matter how long you were married. It doesn't matter how long you were together. My husband and I were together 18 months and we were married 16 months. So when my husband passed away, I had people tell me, you were only with him 18 months. Why are you crying so hard? I wanted to give him a big old middle finger. Because I was like, what in the hell do you know? He was my soul. He was everything to me. He was the reason why I got up in the morning. I used to kiss him awake every morning. And I'd fall asleep in his arms every night for 18 months. We met. And our first date, we never stopped having our first date. I knew him in high school. I seen him in the hallways. I was like, man, he's cute. But he was shy. He was a big guy. Excuse me, he was a big guy. But after he graduated and went through some life things, he had the gastric bypass. He lost some weight. He all of a sudden became confident. Because he lost that weight. He felt better about himself. And our lives came full circle. And we were back face to face with one another. And we were able to be together. But he passed away. He had the flu. And that made him critically ill. So acute respiratory distress syndrome was able to set in. They call it ARDS for short. All those acronyms. So on April 2nd, 2017, at 10:13 at night, Jason Swartz took his last breath. The love of my whole life, the one that I cherished and adored, died in my arms. He did. And I died too. I lost faith. Man, did I lose faith. That went right out the window. Beforehand, I was a religious person, a faithful person, I want to say. Not necessarily religious. Because religious means that you do something repetitively, religiously. Like every day, I religiously brush my teeth. Every day, I religiously take a bath. But I was a very faithful person. I believed in God. I believed in His Son, Jesus Christ. And I believed that God could heal my husband. And that He would bring him home to me. Why did I believe that? I believed that because that's what it says in the Bible. Ask and you shall receive. As long as you walk the walk, and talk the talk. You are a beautiful child of God. And I am your Heavenly Father, and I will give you what you need, what your heart desires. Now, no, He's not going to bless you with a Maserati. But I thought at least He could heal my husband. I thought at the very least He could heal Jason and let him come home to me, right? Right? Didn't happen. Jason died. Broke me in two. Just completely. Like, I think that was probably the hardest thing I've ever been through. I've lost my grandparents. And I know people go, your grandma? What? Your grandma, your grandpa, what? Well, my grandparents, on both sides, by the by, love them to pieces. They were like my best friends. I am so that kid that would rather go spend the weekend with Granny than go be with her friends. I'm so that kid. Like, I thought my Granny and my grandpa were cooler than any band or anything, any football game, anything. I thought they were just the coolest. They had cool things like antiques. And they went and did cool things, like they went to dances. My grandpa was like a veteran. So they had like army dances where they dressed up. And I got to dress up too. And I loved that. I've always been a girly girl. Always. So in any event, I was that girl. Always. I would rather go and spend the weekend with Granny. And so my grandma and grandpa were my best friends. Both sides. My mom and dad. Lots of ups and downs with my mom and dad. But they still were my best friends. And even though they're all gone, I thought that, you know, God would allow me this one thing. You know? I was never able to have children. Even though I prayed for children, I never was able to have children. I had 2 failed marriages. This was my 3rd marriage. I finally was happy. Finally. Happy, in love, comfortable. I didn't worry. I had a man who loved me unconditionally. Completely. It wasn't work to be in the relationship. It was natural. So I thought when I prayed, God could grant me this one thing, right? I mean, I went to church. So did my husband. We prayed. We were faithful to one another. We were good to one another. We were never dishonest. We didn't lie, cheat, steal, any of those things. Even when, like, you would think we would be tempted. Like, we live in an apartment building. And out by the elevator, we found a bag of money. Literally, a bag of money. And we picked it up and we looked in it. And there was a substantial amount, like maybe $50 or so. And we were like, you know what? Somebody in this building is like crap in their drawers right now. because it didn't say whose it was. Like, it didn't have a name on the bag. It just had a name of the bank. It didn't have any kind of ID or anything in it. So we said, look, we'll put the word out that, you know, we found a bank bag. We won't say there was any money in it. We'll just say that it was a bank bag. And we'll ask if anybody can describe what was in it. If there was anything at all. So that's what we did. And we left for the day. We left to run our errands and do our things. And when we came back, our downstairs neighbor stops us in the lobby and says, I know who that bag belongs to. And we said, you do? Who? You know, like who? So come on. So we went to the gentleman's apartment. And he described the bag. He described what was in it. He knew exactly. And we said, here you go, hon. Nothing was missing from it. Because we're honest people. And he cried. He said, no need to cry. We would still have it to this day, and that was like over a year ago. We would still have it to this day, trying to find out whose it was. Because that's how honest we were. We didn't want to do anything or take anything from anyone. So I really thought that God could grant us this one wish. Just this one prayer. I mean, he even prayed. He was like, God, I really don't want to die. I've got to go on this ventilator. And I really don't want to die. Can you please bring me out of this? So I'm thinking, okay, I'm pretty positive about this. And I'm thinking it's going to be fine. He's going to come home to me. I had no idea he was going to come home in an urn. That blew my mind. And you know, I don't care if you're a young widow or an old widow. Whatever age that you become a widow, doesn't matter. It still hurts. It's still hard. It's still bad. Your mind is still blown. Completely. You have good days and bad days. You get like what we call widow brain. You do things absent-mindedly. You want so badly just to be okay. Just to be normal. So you walk through life just trying to be normal. And some days you overachieve at being normal and actually mess up pretty badly. I did that the other day. And I almost met my maker. Just going, hey, I got a headache. I didn't even think. And I took way too much medication. And like I said, it's only by the grace of God that I'm alive. I go live on my Facebook page all the time. And I went live and I thanked everybody for their prayers and their love and their protection. Because I don't think that I would be here right now if they hadn't. And I had several people in my building that took care of me. They seen me because I like left my apartment because some really crazy stuff, like I hallucinated. Who knew Benadryl could make you do that? Yeah, Benadryl's bad. Take 1 or 2. Don't take 10 or 20. No, not at all. I hallucinated there was like demons. So I was running from them. And thank God my friends seen me. Brought me back to my apartment. One of my friends gave me blessed oil so that I could put crosses on the windows and the doors to try to get the demons out. But it calmed my mind, and she knew that. I'm a very blessed woman. I'm blessed to be alive. Widow life is hard. It's hard trying to find your new chapter, too. Everybody wants you to be okay, so they want you to find somebody to be with. Because they think that if you find new love, then you're going to be okay. You'll be fine, right? You'll be fine. I did that. I had a boyfriend. And he was nice. He was a narcissist. I figured that out pretty soon. Yeah. He happened to be a friend of my husband and I's. He was very much older than me. I tend to like the older men. I gravitate towards them. So my husband was the exception. In any event, 6 months passed, and I finally give in to this guy that had been our friend for a year, and my friend for a year and a half. And 2 weeks later, he bounces. I was heartbroken, because I thought, what kind of crap is that? Like, really? Widow life is hard enough. Okay? Then when you try, like, a new chapter, which is what widows call it, the new chapter, or chapter 2. You're chapter 2. I've been married 3 times. I'm like on chapter 4. What the hell am I, Elizabeth Taylor? Come on. No, boo-boo. I am not Elizabeth Taylor. So, I was like, ugh. When you date a widow, and she falls for you, or he falls for you, they give you a piece of their heart. But, here's the catch. Their heart is all broken and shattered into like a million pieces. And it's stuck back together with a little bit of string. Maybe a Band-Aid. Maybe some Elmer's glue. Not Gorilla Glue. Nope, nothing that strong. Elmer's glue. Because they've been through the hardest thing in their whole entire existence. They've lost their whole soul when the love of their life died. That's exactly what happened to them. They lost their whole soul. So if they take a chance on you to love you, that's a big thing. It's huge. I wouldn't take it for granted. So, for my first live broadcast, that's the thing. That's it in a nutshell. But I'll be back later. Probably tomorrow. To try it again. It's been about 24, 25 minutes. And I'll give some more tips on widowhood. I'm only 10 months in, so I'm still a newbie. but I'm learning quickly. I've always been a fast learner. It can be a sad life that'll take you if you let it. But don't ever think that you're alone, because you're not. There is a ton of people that are going through the same thing that you are, that you can talk to, that will be more than happy to help be a support for you. There's groups on Facebook that are amazing. Seek us out. We're there. We really are. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And I hope you tune in tomorrow. I don't know what time I'll go live. I just kind of do this thing randomly. I don't have a set schedule. Just know that you're important. You're amazing. You're beautifully, uniquely you. There's no one in the universe like you. Not even if you're an identical twin. There's still no one in the universe like you. And you are amazing. Love yourself so that others can love you abundantly and unconditionally. It's time to get up and be amazing. Mwah. Goodbye, my darling.